Hey guys, thank you very much for joining. I'm again here for you. It's Thursday, so I'm live and I'm bringing you a new immigration topic, explained simply and easily as always. So today's topic will be, today's topic is a topic which is scary for many people. But it actually doesn't really need to be. It actually can mean a good thing. But what it is, it's the moment when you submitted some application for whatever, residence permit extension, change of purpose of stay, whatever, permanent residency, and then you receive a letter from the Ministry of the Interior requesting some additional documents from you. So for many people, it's a scary moment. But on the other hand, you can also see it as an opportunity or as a good sign, because if the ministry wanted to deny your application, they would have denied already. If they are sending you a letter requesting some additional documents, of course, it means that there are some problems and that you will need to do something to sort out the problems. But they have not denied the application yet, and you still have some chance to do something about that. So that's actually good. And I'll give you how many? 6 tips on what to do when you receive a letter like that. So 6 tips on what to do if you receive a letter from the ministry asking for some additional document. So step number 1 would be do not panic. As mentioned, okay, I'll go to it later on. So let's go through the list first, and I'll then get to the details. So again, 6 steps or 6. Come on, guys. It's Thursday evening and I'm getting tired, I guess. So 6 steps on how to deal with the letter from the ministry requesting some additional documents. Step number 1, do not panic. Step number 2, read it carefully and maybe multiple times. Number 3, highlight what exactly the ministry wants, how they want it, and like any additional information they provide. Number 4, calculate the deadline. That's very important. Number 5, collect all the requested documents in the form the ministry wants them. And 6, deliver them to the ministry in the given deadline. And now I will go through the steps one by one, and I will explain everything I want to say about each of them. Hi, Aripshit. Thank you very much for joining. Hi, Rico. Hi, Arun. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mary. Everyone who's joining. So step number 1, do not panic. As I mentioned, for many people, it's kind of, scary moment when you receive this letter. The ministry is requesting something from you. You don't know what to do. So you tend to, or some people tend to panic. Panic doesn't help to anything. So just calm down and go to the step number 2. Because as I mentioned, if the ministry sent you this letter, that means, okay, that there is some problem with your application. But on the other hand, it wasn't denied yet. So you still have a chance to do something about it. So you need to focus on something positive and like fixing the problem and not just panicking. So then you go to the step number 2, and that's read everything carefully. Because the ministry, like if you receive a 5 pages long document, usually what is important is like 2 paragraphs somewhere at the end. Because all the pages before are just like a general quotes from the law, and like because of this and this, we need to do this and you need to do this. And then usually at the end, there is written something like, in your case, we found out that blah, 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 blah. And that's the important part. That's actually what the ministry wants from you. So you need to focus on this. You need to read it carefully. You need to make sure that you understand what you need to do. If you, for example, submitted your application yourself and you don't have any help from anyone and you don't speak Czech on the level that you can understand this kind of like official letter, then definitely hire someone to help you with that. Either like someone could say like just hire a translator, but I don't think it's good enough. Of course, if you have a colleague or someone who can translate the letter to you, that's good. That's a good start. It's definitely better than if you just try to translate it yourself or using a Google Translate or something. On the other hand, if you just ask for translation, sorry, I need to watch the doc as well. But if you ask just for the translation, the translator might not understand exactly what the ministry is asking about. They will translate, but they will not exactly know what you should do and what exactly it is they are asking about. So you should ideally ask someone, even if it means like paying for someone's advice for like a consultation or something. If you want to come to Move to Prague, we'll be more than happy to help you with that. It will be a paid consultation if it's a long letter, but it's definitely worth it just for you to make sure that you know exactly what you should do, where you should send the documents, when, and what exactly the ministry is requesting. So that would be step number 2. Step number 3 is to highlight the important parts. I always do this whenever we receive a letter from the ministry requesting some documents from our clients. I always read it. I follow these steps. Sometimes I tend to panic as well because it's a case which has been going on for months, and then we think we send them everything, and then they send another letter. So maybe I'm not panicking. I'm just getting angry. But the point is just not to panic. Read it carefully. And I always highlight the important parts because, as mentioned, those are usually like 2-3 paragraphs of the whole like 5 pages or whatever they sent you. So I highlight that, and then I can also make notes whenever we get some of the missing documents or requested documents. Then I just make a note. Okay, we got this. We need to send it until this date because some of the documents have expiration date plus you have the deadline. So I make notes there and I highlight everything. That makes it very clear, and it makes it obvious on the first glance what you need to do where and when. So that would be step number 3. Step number 4, which is very important, is to calculate the deadline. I use a website at Days Counter, which calculates exactly, because the ministry tells you you have 10 days to provide these documents, or you have 40 days, or you have 90 days. And you need to know exactly when it ends, and you need to calculate it perfectly. Because not every month has the same amount of days. So it can happen that if you receive the letter on the 8th of March or 8th of April, let's say, and you are given 60 days, it doesn't mean that it's 8th of June. It can be 5th of June. And if you count with having like 3 more days, you might end up sending the documents late and then jeopardize the whole application. So calculating the deadline is very important, and it also gives you the idea how fast you need to start working on everything and in what order. Because, for example, some documents can take longer to get. Some that you will need to you will be able to get them right away. So then you can also plan if you send the documents separately or if you send them at the same time, or how to do that. So calculating the deadline is actually very important as well. And guys, hello sir, good evening. I will reply to all the questions and all the messages you're sending. I'll just go through the list and then I'll get to your messages. Okay. So calculating the deadline is step number 4, very important. Step number 5, collect all the documents and make sure, or if you cannot collect all the documents in time, then also request an extension of the deadline from the ministry. You can do that. And if it's because the ministry officially needs to give you a reasonable amount of time to provide the documents. So let's say if they want like 3 months of bank statements from the future, and they only give you one month to deliver them, obviously it's not possible because you cannot get documents for 3 months in 1 month. So that would not be a reasonable deadline. This is like an extreme example, but sometimes they do similar things. So you have the right to, if you think that the deadline, or if objectively the deadline is not reasonable, you can request exchange of or extension of the deadline. It's also good for the ministry from the law perspective, because it's better for them to give you like 1 week more and then get the application approved and get it done, than to deny it right away, because then they need to deny, they need to send you letters, they need to deport you, you need to apply again, and it's like unnecessary work for the government as well, and they should kind of try to prevent this by the law. So they should give you the extension if you request it, and if the request is reasonable. If they tell you that you should deliver them a new health insurance, which you can buy in 30 minutes, and they give you 10 days, that's probably a good enough deadline, and I would not recommend getting it extended, because most likely you will not. If they give you a 30-minute task and they give you a reasonable time, you should stick to the deadline. But if you're, for example, maybe, I don't know, you can be outside of the Czech Republic and they need you to come in person. So of course that would not be reasonable because you're not here. So if you request an extension of the deadline, they should kind of approve it. They never send you a letter saying, okay, or sometimes they do. Sometimes they do send you a letter saying, yeah, we extended the deadline. Sometimes they don't do that. But unless you see that the application was denied, then count with that as if they extended the deadline. Okay, so that would be two options: either collect all the documents or request the extension of the deadline. So you are able to deliver all the documents in time. Then, of course, make sure that all the documents are in the form the ministry requested them. That has a couple of reasons, and that's like a couple of reasons. First, obviously, if you deliver the documents in the form they wanted, they should approve the application. But also, it gives you grounds to somehow appeal the application or the result, the denial, for example. If you did everything they wanted, but it wasn't enough for them, you can then appeal it if they deny the application and say, hey, I did everything you asked. Why did you deny my application? Explain. And then you have a chance to appeal the decision and be successful. So following exactly what they say in the letter is the best thing you can do. Of course, for example, we in Move to Prague, we sometimes argue with the ministry because we know that sometimes the decision makers at the ministry are not really, I don't think they are qualified for the job or for any job, to be honest, because sometimes they send letters which are completely like crazy. They even mention different names and different application numbers and everything. They once sent a letter saying, requesting from our male client working in IT. They requested, they were speaking about him as about her, and they requested the schedule of hours the person was teaching, even though he wasn't teaching at all. So they either just didn't read it after themselves and forgot some paragraph from a previous letter, or they just copy pasted it, or they just don't care. I don't know. But sometimes the letters are not really good. So in that case, we argue with the ministry, and I actually kind of like it because it's fun, you know. If the ministry tells you, hey, we calculated 1 + 1 and we got 3, and 3 is not the correct number we want to see, then it's great to write them, hey, 1 + 1 is not 3 but 2. Sorry, guys. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's just me, but I do it this way. But unless you know what you're doing exactly in these cases, unless you have some background, you understand properly everything, and you know exactly what you're doing, then I recommend just sticking to exactly what the ministry is requesting. Because if you send them exactly what they said or what they requested, then there is no way they could deny the application, or that you would not be able to appeal it later. So that would be number 5. And number 6 is deliver the documents to the Ministry of the Interior in the form they wanted it and in the deadline they gave you. You can either go in person to the ministry and submit the documents in person. It's good in some cases. For example, if you're getting close to the deadline, it's better to go in person and submit that, because you can get also a confirmation that you submitted that, and there is no doubt about submitting in time. That in most cases, we just mail the documents to the ministry because it's easier just not to go there. And even if you send it on the last day of the deadline, it's okay. It doesn't have to be delivered to the ministry on the last day. Of course, it's better, because if you can minimize risks, that's what we like in Move to Prague. So we do it the way that you minimize risks as much as possible. But technically, even if you send it the last possible day of the deadline, if you put it into mail and it's stamped by the post, then it's okay. But it's better, of course, not to stretch it like this, but you can technically do that. But just make sure that you deliver it within the given deadlines, and that you deliver the documents in the form the ministry requested. Okay, now that was the number 6, and so that's basically it. I mentioned I had 2 more notes, but I mentioned them because if you deliver everything they wanted, it's very difficult for them to deny the application, and very likely they will approve it. Or if they try to deny it, then you will have a base for an appeal, because he will say, hey, I did exactly what you asked. But you need to make sure that that you did exactly what they asked, because if they, for example, tell you that you need to send original or notarized copy of a document, and you send just a simple copy, that's not what they wanted. They wanted original or notarized copy. You sent simple copy. So even if you sent the document they wanted, but you didn't send it in the form they requested, then it would not be good. So that's going back to the first points, that you need to be sure what exactly they want and how you should deliver it. And if you're not sure yourself, then it's better to hire someone to help you with that. Okay, so now let's go back to your question. So first of all, Bikram, hi. Jennifer, hi. Malika, hi. Prasopano, hi. Archana, Mohammed, Savanach, Malika, thank you all for joining. And let me see now your question. Rico Manansala Yabut, good eve. Good evening to you as well. That's not a question, but it's fine. Mary JB, hi Anna, just sent additional documents to MOI today as I received from a social security office. I wrote you on Messenger, but you didn't read it. Okay, thank you very much. I will get back to you on Messenger. Shaikh Rifat Riaz Biko. I really like your all videos and do regularly watch them. Thank you very much. That's great to hear. I'm happy that it's useful and that maybe is a bit entertaining as well, that I don't put it in a boring way, but I share my experience from daily work and move to Prague. So hopefully this is useful, and thank you for that, and thank you for joining. Mary Jane, please let me know also if you collect my platební výměr in tax office, as 40 days is nearly approaching. Yes, I'm aware of that. Actually, my colleague was at the Finanční úřad, at the tax office, and I will let you know more about that in the message. This is something I cannot read, the name. I guess that's Indian name, but he or she says, hello, sir, good evening. So hi, thank you very much for joining. Mohammed Saeed, hi, Jan. Hi, Mohammed, thank you for joining. Malika, hello, Jan. Your life was early today. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Today I had everything done. I wanted to have the live stream done as well, so I can just continue with my evening, and I don't have to do the live stream at midnight. So I did it earlier, but actually this is still later than I used to do it in the beginning. I used to do it at 4, 5, 6 o'clock tops. Then I switched to midnight, and now I'm somewhere in between. Malika, Jan, I have question in services. Can I? You can, I guess, but please finish the sentence or get in touch with me directly on in the messages. I don't say that I always reply there, and I definitely don't reply fast because I receive plenty of messages every day. So I just sometimes don't have even time to go through all of them. But since I know about you from the live stream, I will wait for the message there. Safa Bugatfa. Hi, Jan. Hi, Safa. Thank you very much for joining again. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. The same goes to you guys on Facebook. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll finish the live stream in a minute or so, and I will continue with my evening. Oh. Again, I will always try to keep it short, but it's again like 18 minutes, 19 minutes. So that's probably because I like talking and because I've been in the business for 10 years now. So I know a lot and I want to explain everything and I don't want to forget any details. So I just talk a lot. And then it's, instead of 10 minutes, it's 20. Okay, guys, if you have any questions right now, this is the last chance, last call for the flight of questions. If you don't have any, I'll be finishing the live stream. And of course, you can get in touch with me directly as well. Malika, there is standard package and all in, but I get your service in Ostrava location. Yeah. Okay, so this is about services of Move to Prague. We have different packages for different types of services because different visa requires a different approach. Of course, visa is different than a residence permit, and long-term residence permit is different than a permanent residence permit, and the whole process is different for citizens and non-EU citizens, and employee card is different than a blue card. So we have different packages, different options for all the different services. We can provide visa services wherever. We're based in Prague. We were scheduled to open a branch in Brno in 2020, which somehow didn't happen. But we can support. I'm now frozen on. Okay, I'm back on Facebook. So we can support from the visa perspective. We can support you wherever you are. We have clients from India who are based in India. We have Americans from the US who are based in US and apply for visas in the US. We have people from all around the world. We have people from Prague, from Ostrava, from Brno, from Plzeň, from other cities in the Czech Republic. So we can support you as much as we can under most of the visa packages. Of course, if you need to go to the ministry in person, for example, so if you're from Ostrava and you need to go to the Ministry of Interior in Ostrava, then that cannot really be part of our service because we would need to travel to Ostrava, which is, 4 hours, 5 hours from Prague. Then we need to go back. So that's another 4 hours plus the time spent at the ministry. So it would be basically 1 extra day just for this trip, and we would be losing the rest of the work. So we would either need to charge you extra for that, or we can give you a slight discount for you going there alone. But of course, we will make sure that you have all the documents, that you know what you will be facing, and we can be also on the phone. If something is happening at the ministry, you can call us, and we'll be happy to help. But obviously, we cannot really go to Ostrava to help you in person unless you pay for that extra. I'm from India. Yeah, if you're from India and if you are still in India but you want to apply for a visa to live in Ostrava, that's completely fine. It doesn't matter, because if you were from India and you were applying for a visa to Prague, you would still be in India. So for us it would be exactly the same. Of course, there might be some slight differences. For example, we can help you find an apartment in Prague, but not really in Ostrava if you're not here or not there. But those are small things. Usually the rest, visa-wise, we can provide all around the Czech Republic. And I've been to Ostrava a couple times, Workwise. I went to the ministry there. It was a very interesting experience. I've been to Brno many times. We go there often for the job fairs. We'll be actually organizing job and relocation fair in September this year. It will be huge. So follow for more info. And when we are getting closer to September, we'll be sharing more information along with JobSpin, which is the main organizer. We became co-organizers this year for the relocation part of the job fair, and there will be also the job fair. So we go to Brno very often. I've been to Plzeň many times, or a couple times as well, at the ministry, at the foreign police. So we know most of the ministries. It is just a matter if we can travel there or not. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Translation is not available in standard. Yeah, okay. So this is a question about our services. I know if people are interested in that or not, you can get in touch with me directly, or if you're in touch with Zuzana, then you can ask her. Generally, let's talk about these packages. Then we have like a standard package, and then we have a package. The standard is, for example, translation-wise, that works the way that if you need some documents translated, you will send it to us. Let's say you're PCC from India, you need to get it, obviously you need to get it translated into Czech. So in the standard package, our help with the translation is, or means that you will send the documents from India to our office, we'll take them, we'll bring them to a translation office, and then once it's ready, we will take it back from the translation office and we will send it back to you. But of course, the cost of the translation is not part of our service, because it can be different every time for every nationality, every case. We had a client from Saudi Arabia, I believe, and the ministry requested a bank statement for 3 months. So it was like 7 pages. And it was from Arabic, so it costs like 7,000 crowns for the translations. If you're from India and you just need to get the PCC translated, that's usually 1 page and 500 crowns. So there can be huge differences. So it cannot really be part of the service. But our assistance is the part that we take the document from you, we deliver it to the translation office, we take it back from there. You have the translation. You just need to pay for the actual translation service. In the all-inclusive package or in the exclusive package, then we calculated that we can include some of the translations in the price. So obviously the price is higher, but it already includes the cost of the translation. There is a limit of some number of pages. I believe it's like 5 pages of translation and 5 pages of notarization or something like that. I don't know everything from top of my head, but I believe it's something like that. So if you go for the all-in package, then you know that you will not need to, unless there are many translations, which then would be extra, but you know that in most cases, you will not need to send us any additional money for the translations, or that you will not need to deal with that. You just send us the document and that's it. And we pay for the translation, we send it to you, so that everything is kind of included like this. So it's, we created this package for people who just don't want to think about any extra like costs or work or anything. They just want to pay one fee and get most of the things done. Of course, if the 5 pages of translation is included and you have 7 pages, then obviously we would need to charge you for the 2 extra pages. But if you, for most cases, the package is designed the way that it works for most cases. So in most cases, in the all-inclusive package, you don't need to worry about additional cost for the translation or anything like that. So hopefully this clarified. If not, if you're in touch with Zuzana, get in touch with Zuzana and she'll explain in details. If you're in touch with me, maybe, then get in touch with me and I will be happy to explain that as well. And now I'll be finishing the live stream. So thank you very much, guys, for joining. Thank you very much for joining every time. And I'm happy that this provides value and that you come here and that you share it, like it. Of course, follow me. Follow me everywhere. I'm not only on Facebook and YouTube, but I'm also on Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Patreon, and I share different types of content on each of the platforms. On Patreon, then there are some extra bonuses which you cannot get anywhere else. For example, one time a month, I do like kind of one-to-one session where you can ask anything you want regarding visas, accommodation, my personal life, or whatever. Plus, you can get access to a special group on WhatsApp with my personal number, so you can also text me there anytime, and I'm happy to reply. So that's, for example, Patreon. So if you know the platform, look me up there and join. I will be happy. But you can find me on all the other social media platforms as well. So Malika, yes, I will be in touch with Zuzana and you. Thank you very much. Looking forward. If you know Zuzana, if you've been in touch with her, it's always safer to get in touch with her because her job is to communicate with clients. I have a bit more responsibilities, so sometimes I don't reply that fast, especially on Facebook. So if you can choose between me and Zuzana, I recommend contacting Zuzana. But if you want me personally, of course, get in touch as well, and I'll try to do, or I'll do my best to reply as soon as possible. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Have a nice evening, and see you again on Monday, when I'll be doing another live stream, and then on Thursday, and then on Monday, and then on Thursday until the end of the world. So thank you very much. Swathi Kalahasti, thank you very much for joining. I am just finishing the live stream though. So thank you very much, guys. Lovely seeing you, and see you on Monday. Bye-bye. And those of you on YouTube, you always get a couple extra seconds because I first need to finish the stream on my phone from Facebook, and then I'm finishing it here. So guys, thank you very much as well for following me, for joining, for commenting. Not that much today, but there are some days where you comment a lot, and I really appreciate it because it makes the live stream better and more valuable for everyone and more enjoyable for me. So thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.